Hi, my name is Rachel Wilson and I'm the CEO of Gigglewaters. We've won Best Burger in Tampa Bay, Best Cocktails, Best Whiskey Bar, Best Popcorn, Best Brunch, lots of other awards, things to be proud of. But that's not the thing I'm most proud of, and it's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about our Giggles For Good charitable initiative. This is a program we started right after we opened, and it's been a really wonderful part of who we are and what our mission is and how we connect with our community. We started the Giggles For Good program a couple months after we opened, and we just wanted to use our space to help local 501c3s raise money for whatever cause was important to them. So we put out an announcement and said, anyone who needs help, reach out to us and schedule a day. And we would give them our theater on Sundays. So they could sign up for a day, choose a movie, we'd give them 50% of the ticket proceeds plus 100% of the charity shots that we sold, and we'd let them make it what they wanted to. So they could put out a table with literature, they could do 50-50 raffles, they could introduce each movie and talk a little bit about their organization. And it was a neat way to work with the community to raise money for so many great causes. I think the first time we realized we could give more than just the theater on Sundays was when we looked at the government shutdown that happened in 2019. I have friends and family in the service, and we looked at these people that were scared that they weren't getting paychecks, they didn't know what was going to happen or how long it was going to go on. And we wanted to help in some way. And so at that time, the best thing I could think of to do was just to give them a fun night out, a night without some stress. And so we gave everyone who was furloughed a free movie ticket and a beer for every single night that the shutdown went on. So they could come every night, have a beer, watch a movie on us, and at least that was one thing that they didn't have to think about. A lot of your resources are going towards, food and rent and things that mattered, and there wasn't a lot of leftover money for entertainment, so we could fill that in for them. And I think that was the first time we realized we could get a little bigger in our outreach. Australia was the first time we went international with our Giggles For Good mission. I was really taken aback by the footage of the wildfires in early 2020. I've got family in Australia and they were sending me pictures, and it was just horrific, and it didn't seem like it was ever going to end, and you just saw these displaced koalas walking in the street, and it was heartbreaking. And my staff all wanted to help. They knew we could do something bigger in a bigger way to be a part of a solution. So we took a weekend and we showed Crocodile Dundee all weekend, and we donated 100% of our ticket sales from that. We grilled shrimp on the Barbie outside. We brought in one of our beverage partners, Monin, and they set up a bar on site and donated 100% of those sales. We found a local artist who painted koala paintings, and we had a silent auction for those. And over the weekend, we raised a couple $1,000s, and we gave it directly to Australian wildlife organizations my family had recommended where it really needed the resources on the ground, and we were able to contribute in that way. So that was the first time Giggles For Good went international. The shutdown was a whole different experience. We closed the doors. We couldn't serve anybody except for to-go. And we were filled with anxiety. I think the staff, we all felt helpless. We wanted to do something with our time. We were sitting here all day long. I was trying to keep my staff employed as long as we could afford to. And I had a fridge full of food and a chef that was great and staff that could deliver things, and I just thought we need to use this time in a constructive way. And so we funneled our energy into feeding the front lines, and that became the driving force of everything we did. So we took that first meal we took burgers to Meese Countryside Hospital in the emergency room, and I delivered, 20, 30 meals. And I delivered it personally in PPE from head to toe because no one knew what they were dealing with at that moment in March. And seeing the smiles on people's faces and the appreciation on people's faces affected me, touched me, and made me want to do more of that. And so we really took our focus as a business at that time to looking for corporate sponsors, looking for donations from the community. Anyone who wanted to, who was stuck at home and maybe didn't have a way to help and felt helpless, that we would give them an outlet. You can help us sponsor a meal. And we were able to do things under cost so we could get it out as efficiently as possible, but I could keep a couple more people employed during that time. And during the pandemic, we fed thousands of first responders. I fed paramedics, every single one over at Sunstar. We went to fire stations, police stations. I've been to every hospital in Pasco County, Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, multiple times. I remember Easter Sunday we brought food to, I think it was 7 units of the Countryside Hospital. So literally we came with trays and trays and trays of food. The testing sites, the COVID testing sites with Baycare, I actually became friends with some of the people that we delivered to there. It became a drug of sorts that I would deliver food and feel like someone felt appreciated, and we were able to do something constructive with our time. And all I can say is it changed me. I think that that was some of the more meaningful work we ever did. And it's funny, I was posting pictures on Facebook of one of our deliveries, and there's always someone in the comments. So someone commented, well, that's great, but all of those people have jobs and I'm laid off. And immediately I was annoyed because you try to do something good and you can't make everybody happy. But I sat with her comment for a couple days and I thought about it, and I thought, she's right. She's right. There's people out there that aren't working, and what can I do for them? So we set up an assembly line. I brought in any staff I could find that was still around at that time, and we just made bags and bags of lunches. We did turkey sandwiches the first weekend, hot dogs the second weekend, and we set up a drive-through so people could just drive up. Anyone who was unemployed could have a free lunch, no cost to them. And I just literally was handing them out the window, putting them in people's cars' windows when they drove by, so we could just feel like we were helping people who maybe needed a lunch who hadn't needed one before. I remember one mom who drove through the line and didn't want a lunch for herself, but asked if she could have an extra for her kids. And you could tell this is someone who had never asked for a free lunch before in her life. And I gave as many as I could. I was filling her car up with bags of lunches. But she stuck with me. The second weekend, I looked out for her. I was hoping she'd come back through. It was an unprecedented time for a lot of people who were forced to ask for a lunch when they hadn't ever before. And so I think that was a turning point for us too. When September rolled around, we still focused on feeding the front lines, but we started to shift our attention towards schools. I had a lot of friends who are teachers, and they were really worried about going back to school and what safety protocols would be in place, and would it be safe to be there with a lot of children in one area. And I think any of us with small children, myself included, who had to homeschool towards the end of last year, really appreciated teachers. And so we launched our Food for Thought initiative. And that's where our Giggles for Good program really focused on giving to teachers and sending them a virtual hug. So we sent lunches to Kings Highway Elementary, to Safety Harbor Elementary, and we included everybody, cafeteria staff, janitorial staff, admin, all of the teachers. I wanted to make sure no one was left out of that. Recently, over Valentine's Day, my husband and I were stuffing little handwritten cards all night long till like 3 in the morning. We made these fancy cards and we filled them with gift certificates and movie tickets, and we gave them to every single teacher and admin and support staff at Safety Harbor Elementary School, Safety Harbor Middle School, just to say we love you guys and thank you for all that you do. Over the last couple of years, we have become more mission-driven than probably any other burger place, right? It really has become a core value of who we are at Gigglewaters. The more I reached out and connected with the community, the more they were there for us. So many people came in after the shutdown and said, we never heard of you guys, but you came to our break room and sent lunch when we were scared, and we wanted to come order food from you. And so I feel this sense of friendship, like a genuine friendship with our community. I will take care of them anytime I can, and every time they come in and order something, they're taking care of us. And so I think that the more we give, the more that comes back. And I think that's what being a true partner with your community is. And I think that's what the Giggles for Good movement is for me. We're mission driven to be a partner to our community. And I think it's made us all better people. You know, I'm proud of what we've built here. It's not just that it's the best burger you're ever gonna have in your entire life. It's the work we've done through Giggles for Good. We have found a way to connect with our community and do something meaningful. And I'm proud of that. We don't just make a burger, we make a difference.